But at the end of the day, it is like I said, put the fight on.
Hey, Wack, hey, yo, hey, this shit easy, nigga. Hey, all I'm talking about, nigga, I'm still out here trying to get it.
Tender Regime Boxing, checking back in with y'all, man. What's good? So Gervonta Tank Davis and Lamont Roach seems to have scheduled their rematch for August 16th, this time to take place in Las Vegas. I think that's the perfect location for this fight. First fight was extremely competitive, and the rematch is going to be way bigger. I think the rematch is going to be just as good with even more drama. I think this is the right fight, the right next fight for both fighters. I didn't like the idea of Tank Davis entertaining another fight in between this one, and especially Lamont Roach, right? Like, if you got the opportunity to fight Tank Davis one time, let alone twice, you better put off any other fights that you have in mind and make sure that you're ready for that fight. So I think this is a great thing for both guys. This gives Gervonta Tank Davis an opportunity to kind of clear the slate as far as all of the people saying that he took a knee, he should have lost the first fight, he's not everything that we thought he was because he should have punished the Lamont Roach, who was seemingly unknown to the mass public, and he came up from a lower weight class, his first fight at 135. This is a guy that you should have got out of there, even though for the people that actually know boxing and have paid attention and have seen Lamont Roach fight, you know Lamont Roach is a formidable guy. You know he can fight, right? But even us would have expected Tank Davis to get Lamont Roach up out of there, right? So I think Lamont Roach definitely surprised a lot of people in a good way. And for Lamont Roach, this is an opportunity for him to close the deal this time. You know, a lot of people felt like Lamont Roach won the first fight. I'm one of those people. I thought he did enough to get the W, but I wasn't totally mad at the draw. You dig what I'm saying? I felt like the draw, I could see that. You know what I'm saying? There were some swing rounds. I thought Lamont Roach could have been a little bit more aggressive in the first half of the fight, but he played his game plan perfectly. He was patient. He took what the defense gave him. He allowed Tank to make the mistakes, and so he can capitalize and make Tank miss and make him pay. And it wasn't until around the 7th round where he really started to assert himself and make his physical presence known and really start to let his hands go and rough Tank Davis up a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Really get in the trenches with him. I felt like he could have done a little bit more of that in the first half of the fight, but who's to say if he would have took that approach, he probably would have got his ass knocked out. I ain't gonna lie. It's hard to take that type of approach with Tank Davis, especially starting off early, because you got so many rounds to go and all he got to do is hit you with one. You know what I'm saying? So you got to be very mindful and sharp, and you have to be calculated in your approach, and you have to be very matter of fact of how you gonna handle him in that ring. You know what I'm saying? Can't be in there playing around and taking unnecessary chances. So I thought Lamont Roach's game plan was phenomenal, and I thought it was a winning game plan. I thought it was enough to get the W. Nonetheless, this rematch, I think we're gonna see a lot of the same stuff, but also some different things. I think in this fight, it's either gonna go one or two ways. I think you're gonna see Tank Davis be a lot more aggressive in coming forward and trying to walk Lamont Roach down. Even though we already know Lamont Roach can land counter shots and he's strong and he's sharp with his shots. The power, I think he got respectable power, enough for Gervonta Davis in that first fight to respect him. But I think now that Tank been in the ring with him, Tank is kind of, and he sparred him before, but it's different under the lights with 8-ounce gloves. I think now that he's had that experience with Lamont Roach, and then all of the criticism, the hair grease, the fact that he had a draw with this guy coming up in weight, I think Tank is gonna be more willing to take chances and risk in this fight to get that knockout punch. You know what I'm saying? And I wouldn't be surprised if we see Tank drop Lamont Roach or stop him in this fight. You know what I'm saying? With Lamont Roach, I think he also takes a little bit more, a few more chances early in the fight, but still with that same calculated game plan, just altering it or adjusting it a little bit to be able to create more balance over the course of 12 rounds. I can see Lamont Roach, if he can survive a knockout, getting a unanimous decision in this fight. If everything that we saw in that first fight was real, because sometimes it's optic illusions. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes what you saw in that first fight, it could have been circumstantial. You know what I'm saying? Based off of them meeting for the first time under the lights, based off of Tank Davis maybe underestimating him. You know what I'm saying? Maybe Lamont Roach was just, he outperformed his normal self. That could have been a thing. You know what I'm saying? And maybe he goes in there the next fight and it looked like what we thought the first fight was supposed to look like. You know what I'm saying? But I think this fight is either going, just like the first time around, man, it's either going to be, I don't see Tank Davis winning a decision. I think if it goes to the cards, then that means something bad happened for Tank. You know what I'm saying? I think something went wrong for Tank if it goes to the cards. If it goes to the cards, I like Lamont Roach winning and boxing to a decision. I think if it goes 12, Lamont Roach accomplished his game plan. And but I could also see Tank being way less worried about what Lamont Roach got and willing to take more chances and going in there and landing some crazy shit and stopping Lamont Roach, man. But I'm excited about this fight, and I am interested to see what the build-up looks like. Maybe we learn some new things about what took place in the first fight, because we haven't seen a whole lot of Tank Davis since the fight in terms of like interviews and, him just really giving his thoughts. So I'm excited, man. I think this is going to be a great fight, man. Y'all let me know what y'all think down in the comments, man. Contender regime boxing. I'll holler at y'all boys, man.